Is it better now?
I don't see you live.
It says we're live.
Certainly don't see you live.
Oh yeah, we're live. It says we're live.
There you go.
Certainly
now you're live.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Something happened with the internet, and Streamlabs freaked the fuck out.
Streamlabs, like, I have a perfect idea. Higher pitched audio.
Yes, perfect. I really need to go to OBS, but man, Streamlabs. I love the themes that you can pick out for your stuff. That's all like pre-done.
They do make it simple, despite the fact they stole all their stuff.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a terrible thing. I ain't defending Streamlabs, let me tell you.
No, I get it. It's when you learn a program, you don't want to shift. And besides, Streamlabs does make things easy, despite the plagiarism.
It's not even plagiarism. It's just bad etiquette. Because OBS is open source.
Oh, yeah. OBS do be cool. Like,
but like the whole thing about open source coding is that everyone needs to do it, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, we will be talking about anima, don't worry.
No.
Yeah, we are.
No.
We're going to talk about anima.
And it's not because it's open. It was open source to begin with. That's how Streamlabs even got the stuff in the first place. But Streamlabs is not open source. So all the cool things Streamlabs does, no one else can like pick out of the pile. Even though everything OBS does, Streamlabs is like, oh, that's really handy. Let me take that. I will 100% admit it is shady. I don't like doing it this way, but I also just do not have the bandwidth to do everything else myself.
Yeah, nah, I feel the same way. I feel that way about Adobe. Like, I hate Adobe. That is a garbage company. I despise all of them, their products. But, like, goddamn, they are just good at what they do for, like, what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, I know DaVinci is it can do, like, equally, if not some better stuff with the tools it has. It's free and, like, run well, but I'm not learning DaVinci. Really complicated.
Well, there's also, like, I mean, Adobe's so shitty because they used to sell the programs.
Yeah, they have, like, a license.
But then they're like, no, they're no longer, you know. You have to use this program where your stuff is constantly updated. You can't, like, just buy, like, the 2020 version and then just keep that for 10 years.
Yeah. You have to have the new version. They update everything, changing your settings and your saved stuff. Your work, just rearranging your workspace is my least favorite part.
Yeah.
So I have everything, like, laid out like I like it, all nice and, like, handy. And then they're like, what if we put this button over here? This doesn't fix anything, but what if?
What if? What if we just mess up all your stuff?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny?
And what if we send you cease and desist letters if you don't update your program?
Yeah, right. You're stealing our program that you have paid thousands of dollars to at this point.
Stupid.
It's really bad. It's it's definitely a shitty world for content creators in general, honestly. Everything you need to, like, get started is either really hard to use or backed by really shitty companies, or both. Have you seen all the Twitch drama lately?
Yeah, mainly because I follow. I'm a Ludwig fan. He's somewhat in the middle, but not really.
Not well. He's connected, but he's definitely not involved.
Yeah, he's adjacent.
Yeah.
And at the very least, his girlfriend was a catalyst for some of it. But so I know everything has been going on, and it's like, damn, that's crazy. I wish, streamers could be normal, decent people. Imagine.
Well, yeah, there's that, and there's also the new ad revenue split.
Yeah, it's too expensive for us to run our own company.
Yeah.
Like that whole stuff. And then like
Yeah.
I don't know. They must be getting some raw deal from Amazon or something like that, or the whole like our rates to run stuff through Amazon, a company that we are also, is this much. Like we don't get any special rates for internal company stuff. Either they're lying or they're getting absolutely fucked over because Twitch doesn't turn profit.
Well, and that's the thing though, is like the biggest problem is Twitch has had years and years and years to make the platform more profitable, and they just don't.
Yeah.
They refuse, like ads.
The ads make them so much money, but God, they're really rough when you're just trying to browse Twitch.
Like, they just need to do the same thing that YouTube has and have skippable ads that they can skip in like 5-6 seconds or whatever.
Yeah. I know one thing, again, like Ludwig mentioned, because he's like, spoken to Twitch on a good amount, is apparently the problem with Twitch is that its tool is just absolutely loaded with executives. Like it's too bogged down with people getting paid a stupid amount of money for doing next to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens in a lot of companies too.
Yeah,
they promise deals to people who can like add to the company. They're like, oh, you're a part of this conglomerate of like ad companies or whatever, and you can get all of these big companies to put ads on our channel. Okay, we'll give you an exec spot.
And yeah, the absolute state of the website, where if you want to promote your live stream career, just do something against TOS. That's how you can immediately bump up an insane amount of viewership.
Yeah, and Crafty knows, right? It's just bang on stream. You may get banned for like 3 days or something, or a week. And you just come back and you got more viewers than ever.
Yeah. Absolute state of the site, just break the rules to become famous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In the end, we don't know how these big companies are run. We don't know if anything was even possible without these kind of deals. And I will say, the more you take from content creators and the harder you make your content to watch, the more money you're going to lose. And that's just straight common sense.
So everyone's jumping to YouTube.
Yeah. And I mean, YouTube offers a program where you can just get YouTube Red, no more ads.
Yeah, I
on any channel you go to.
I'm a YouTube Red subscriber, and I haven't looked back since. It's real handy. That, and also it's nice because I do also use the download YouTube video feature a lot, because sometimes I want to watch YouTube when I'm like on a plane or something, or going somewhere with no internet. So I can download like Red Letter Media, who I still consider to be like one of the best YouTubers ever, or YouTube channels like of all time, just so I can watch Red Letter Media on a plane.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's all super common sense, but it doesn't feel common sense to these companies, and it's so weird. It's like, how bad does your company have to be where everyday schmucks look at something you do and be like, yeah, that's not a great idea?
Like, I don't even know how your fucking business works. Not even I can tell.
Yeah.
If I didn't have Spotify, the music part would be a big sell for me. But I have a Spotify Premium through like a family thing, so that part never really sold to me. If I lost Spotify for whatever reason, yeah, the YouTube Music would be really handy. They got some good tools there.
And that's all Twitch had to do, right? All Twitch had to do was just make a universal subscription that they can do that's like $10. No ads anywhere on the platform. The people you watch get a percentage of what, based on your watch time, which is really easy to record. And then all they have to do is just take a part of Donos. That's it. And we're like, yeah, you can be on our platform, whatever. We'll take 30% of all of the donations you receive. And like, what does that do? Like, it just earns money with very little investment down.
Yeah, there's so many better things that how they could be running it. It's crazy. It's the thing of like I have zero intentions to ever start streaming, but if I did, Twitch would not be the one I go to. Like I'd definitely be using YouTube.
Yeah, honestly, like we only multi-stream predominantly so that people can hop onto Twitch to use its better chat.
Yeah, and like even
That's
then,
it.
there's a fix for the YouTube chat part, but it's a plugin made by another streamer.
Yeah.
Like, and I have used that plugin before, the one made by Ludwig and like his team, and it genuinely does make YouTube a much better stream viewing experience. It fixes the problem because Twitch does just have a better chat feature.
But yeah, so Twitch keeps shooting themselves in the foot, and you know what? The people at the top are obviously too incompetent to do anything to actually fix the company, and will try to squeeze everything they can out of it before it gets run into the ground.
Yeah.
And then YouTube will become even more powerful and have an even stronger monopoly on content creation, and that's not a good thing.
Not really. Who knows? Maybe Twitch will have a giant redemption arc. I doubt it, but that'd be fun. Because I do like the Twitch culture. That's the thing that's fun about Twitch.
Yeah,
It's got a lot of history and culture in the site that's like YouTube can never really match.
yeah, and that's the thing, right? That's how you keep everything sane online. It's like the big mega store controversy, you know. It's like, oh, we got Walmarts and Fred Meyers everywhere, and they're pushing small businesses out, you know. More big businesses does not help anyone. You need more platforms that can pay. But the thing is, it's hard to compete with the money. You can't compete with companies like Amazon or Google for how much money they can give their top streamers. So what do? You know, it's really rough. But that's economy 101, unfortunately.
To be a really interesting internet age we live in.
Yes, I agree, Crassy. I've had very many conversations about that, but that's unfortunately a very long and overly political conversation. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. We're not partnered on Twitch, even though I wish we were. A lot of people keep asking me like when we're gonna partner or when we're gonna at least like become a what's it called? Associate.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, well, I can't because the stupid streaming, you know, you can't multi-stream on Twitch. Which I get told as well. A lot of people do it anyway, and no one cares because Twitch can barely manage its own channel. It doesn't have the bandwidth to go out and check other platforms to make sure you're not multi-streaming.
And also, they can barely moderate the big names on Twitch. They can't moderate the small names either.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the Twitch thing with any sort of breaking their policy is like they only know about it if it gets reported. And besides, if Twitch is running itself into the ground, you know, milk that shit before it just collapses.
Yeah, I thought about that actually.
Like honestly,
think about that.
Like legitimately, if Twitch right now is just tanking themselves, just squeeze all the money you can and then just dip. Like, oh no, they caught me. I was gonna leave anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I might just so everyone can toss their primes at us.
I don't think it's people. Yeah, I would put my prime towards you. Yeah. Like, I don't think it's I don't think it's it'll cause any problems. We don't. There's not enough like weight here that people would like. I don't think people would report you for that, or even they probably wouldn't even catch it.
Well, see, but that's the thing. Heavy War Crier is that it doesn't matter if all the people on the platform leave.
Yeah, because like right now, it's the top 1% of Twitch. Beside the fact that the top 1% of Twitch right now is absolutely fucking collapsing because of all the shit that's coming out. But like, if the people who make up 95% of the people watching on Twitch are gone, like off the platform, because like they leave, then who's gonna be on Twitch?
Yeah. So I mean, like, unfortunately, there's just gonna be backroom deals. A lot of streamers are gonna be told that they're gonna be getting paid, more than anyone else to keep them on the platform. Because Amazon can do that. They can just be like, hey, we're going to offer you a contract deal, but it has a non-disclosure clause, so you can't tell anyone. But we'll give you, an extra 50K, 100K a year to stay on the platform.
Yeah.
So, it's like, you're kind of right, but kind of wrong. The hard part is just knowing, like, how much they're willing to go out for it.
I mean, I like Critical's theory that the current CEO of Twitch doesn't know that he's working at Twitch.
Yeah.
Because
it feels like
genuinely kinda. Like, goddamn.
Oh god, that's the thing, right? That it's like I always have to shake my head when people come up with all these like, oh, the Illuminati, the dark, governments or whatever controlling everyone in the world. This is complete proof. Every major corporation that ever gets together to control something just does it poorly more and more the bigger it gets, until it's eventually a bloated husk of a thing that everyone can see right through.
It's gotta... Can't you're still making a profit despite the fact your company is run in a really dumb way because you're the only one who's really doing it good, or even just doing it in general.
It's not even that. It's like Amazon got to where it was by buying out all its competition, offering small businesses ludicrous amounts of money that they could not say no to.
What EA does as well.
So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do I think Twitch is going to end anytime soon? No. I think Twitch will still be here, maybe even for 10 years. Will it start, like, dying? Maybe. It depends on YouTube. If YouTube just keeps offering better deals, there's absolutely no way Twitch can compete. Besides throwing straight money at its top content creators. But then it just becomes a closed network, Then it's just, and you know what? They'd probably be fine with that. They'd be like, okay, we're no longer open for anyone to just come in. It's just these top people. That's it.
It would change their revenue like such little by doing that.
Yeah.
They'd lose like a negligible amount of income.
Yeah, that's also a big thing as well, and that's, a very relevant thing as well. But a lot of companies that have something good like Twitch or YouTube don't want to necessarily go that route, because why kill the golden goose, So, I don't know. It's something that none of us here, I think, are super qualified to talk about, because
no, don't trust our opinions on a lot of stuff.
We're not top streamers. We're barely streamers at all.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I just appear on live streams. I don't even like stream myself, so I refuse to.
And not only that, but like none of us have, like, that's a big thing that I feel like a lot of people, even the content creators, don't understand, is what it takes to actually run a company. Like, some of them do, but not the same kind of companies. Like, I know Moist Critical has a lot of different small companies, like Charlie has, well, he has an esports, but he also has like a company that helps streamers get like ads and stuff like that. And he does a lot, actually. Charlie has a lot going on, mostly just other people who he's hired to make things, but like,
yeah,
but yeah, you got the money, why not? And But it's not a streaming platform, which is, I think, such a different beast. Granted, we can all see it's being done poorly, and I think anyone can agree to that, but I don't know. It's like, how do you moderate millions of people at the same time, right? It's impossible.
Yeah. It's absolutely, like, just crazy.
That's why, like, sudden people getting banned for no reason, algorithm stuff, is just AI just trying its best to do the job of a million people. And it fucks up. But the company's like, well, we can't have our automated system look like it's not working. So we're just going to say actual people look at this stuff and not explain why nothing worked.
Yeah. And double down on really dumb AI moderation decisions because the alternative is saying our AI fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what happened with a fucking summoning salt of all people recently. Absolute, like, the amazing sweetheart of a content creator, Summoning Salt. There's a clip in an hour-long speedrun video where a guy says fuck like twice or something, and his video got age restricted for it for excessive swearing.
Yeah.
It's 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the problem with that, Crassy, is the reason why these, like, bans and everything are not done equilaterally is because banning or hurting certain people hurts the platform more than just letting it slide.
Yeah, they have to treat certain people better. Though I will say, it does seem like there are some people where it's like, you're a really small streamer. Why is Twitch, like, really sticking its neck out for you? And you just egregiously broke the rules, but Twitch is being really nice to you. I don't know. It's the difference of a bias of a mod team, and then also, like, there are just people that they can't really touch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a great video Ludwig made where he openly talks about this. As someone who was one of the top names on Twitch and, like, was that person, he was very open with the thing of he could send out an email and get unbanned, like, immediately if he really wanted to. Like, if that came to it. Because he was given preferential treatment because he was one of the top streamers.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. It does suck. And the thing is, though, is reputation means less when you're in, like, a monopoly situation. Because people will still go to your platform anyway. I don't know. The thing is, it wasn't a problem until YouTube really started hitting and going into streaming. Now it's a problem. Because YouTube is becoming a bigger competitor by the day.
Bigger competitor, and then after, honestly, a pretty big PR win of, hey guys, we're gonna ban sponsored gambling stream. Like, that, dope, cool decision. Then hey all, we're also cutting your paycheck.
We're cutting paychecks of our top streamers.
Yeah, if you're making good money on our site, we're gonna cut your paycheck to, like, by 30%. You know, just have fun.
But we'll give you more ad revenue. So
yeah,
if you pump more of those unskippable ads,
yeah, just run
you
more
can make
ads.
your money back.
You know, the thing viewers hate.
Yeah, so
make your viewers angry to get more money. That's a great idea. Good job, Twitch. Proud of you.
It is a utter dumpster fire, and I mean, like, fortunately we have nothing to worry about. It's just interesting to talk about.
We're so small on the totem pole of that.
Well, it's not even that. We also just don't produce content that's likely to get, like, age restricted or whatever. You know what I mean?
If something of ours gets age restricted, it's because an AI messed up. I can see the stuff I'm making at some point getting age restricted because I do swear a good amount in my videos, which I certainly hope that's not going to be something I have to actively curtail. I do the don't swear within the first minute part because I know that's an actual thing. But yeah, that's the most I can see. It's like AI fucking up and then YouTube being like, AI made good decision.
Yeah, and the problem is once you get on their target board, it's so hard to get off.
Yeah,
So because you're viewed as a problematic channel, and the algorithm is just checks you more frequently.
yeah. That'll be rough. I just want to peacefully make Warhammer videos in peace, you know. By the way, check out my YouTube channel, Blue Boy.
Glue Boy, yeah. Want some Warhammer stuff and some top of the line thumbnails.
That is true. Very good thumbnails.
Very good thumbnails.
I wonder who's been working on those.
I wonder.
Will they ever reveal their secret?
Blood for the blood god. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So that's been the recent news that we've again, it's like when it comes to tabletop, right? It's like besides the occasional curse word that may come out, it's just not a thing. Where it's not like it's high pressure PvP stuff where you're just cursing your brains out because you're frustrated or anything.
Or like we're covering really like fucked up topics.
Yeah. It's literally like, hey guys, do you like when games give you the weapon or does not give you the weapon?
Whoa. Do you like XP? Oh. What if game did this instead of this? And the algorithm's like, whoa, you can't do that. You can't say that.
You can't say preference.
Algorithm's a 5e fanboy.
But yeah,
I actually get a lot of choice and a lot of cool abilities that my system gives.
Yeah.
If only another game did these homebrew fixes I made, though.
Right. We know. Good segue into the topic today. Yeah, it's just one of those things of a discussion came up yesterday during our session 0 for Blades in the Dark, which if you have not heard of Blades in the Dark, please check that out because it's a wild game. And we drop in like the first 15 minutes, like the overall aesthetic of the game world, and it's pretty nutty.
Yeah, even if you don't care about like character creation or session zeros, like I do recommend just watching the first just listen to everyone talk about the lore, because it's intense. It's so cool. It's probably one of the coolest and best sells on a system I've had, because I'm immediately super pumped about it now.
Also, if you want to impromptu table talk, it was in the last 30 minutes of the video, so
that is true.
You can skip to that as well. But yeah, it's very interesting how much tabletop has kind of grown, and yet I think most people don't see that there's just as many options that are available to them. We named our stream today 5 games better than D&D and Pathfinder because there are definitely way more than that are better at types of games than both of those. Easy.
Yeah, there's definitely some that we haven't even heard of or talked about.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, you could bastardize 5e to make a mech game, sure. Or you could just play Lancer.
Yeah.
And I guarantee just playing Lancer will be a better experience than whatever you could turn D&D 5e into.
Yeah, because, it's the difference between, I made a game rules fit this thing, when instead, what if you played a game that's rules were designed to do that thing? Wouldn't that be crazy?
.5e mech game greater than Lancer, no cap, for real.
I mean, then I'm not surprised to hear that the Lancer dev is a fan of Blades of the Dark. I've based on some of the mechanics I've seen, and at least the tastes of the creators. I actually do follow them. I'm not surprised.
Like, that's the thing, right? But like the thing is, all of these games, not D&D, not Pathfinder. It's there's just, the thing is, we'll talk about R5 because we don't want to completely lie. But if you want a good pick up and go experience, Lancer is great. And the fact that your mech gets so customized as you play, and there's so much lore behind each and every mech and each and every company, that your decisions can be so influenced by the narrative. It's crazy. A lot more than most other tabletop games, honestly. It's rare to find, like, games where everything you put on a character has deep lore implications.
Yeah, there's meaning behind it, and the lore is also really cool and presented in a really cool way. Looking at you, like all of shit, I don't know what's their company name. Pegasus. That's Manticore.
Oh. Crap. Horus.
Looking at you, every Horus mech.
Yeah. Well, see, but Rylan, though, like, that's usually... Well, one, that's the problem with most video gaming in general. Like, there's thousands, tens of thousands of video games out there, and if you and your friends are ever sitting there like, I wish we had a game to play, like, that's just part of the problem. It's inherent no matter what. But a lot of that as well is just your friends don't know about how fun some other tabletops are. They're like, I had fun with D&D 5e. I kind of like D&D 5e. Let's just play that. When it's just like, but we could play this other game that has this really fun mechanic. We haven't messed around with it all, I've heard of Legend of the Five Rings, but no. In fact, if any of you have a question of what games we've tried, besides Deadlands... Yeah, I'm pretty sure every game I have now played is on the channel.
Same actually, because I haven't really played many other games outside of the thing we do here. That's the reason I'm in every single one, because I'm genuinely invested in trying more tabletop. I'm a big believer in trying new things.
Oh, I guess I've also played some of the other White Wolf games as well. They're all kind of the same system, just done in different ways. But I have played, like, Scion and... Oh, yeah! Anathema is another really fun one. That's not on the channel. I'd love to try the new 2nd edition.
Though I think honestly we could be getting some more anima love in chat. Heyo, anima, best system ever.
I highly disagree. Is
well,
a very
you
not.
can highly be wrong.
Yeah, you can highly be wrong because the game doesn't work.
That's what makes it good. I don't know if you understand.
No, I do better than anyone. I understand.
The fact that it doesn't work is part of the charm. Like, oh, it's trying. I still really, like, this is a dream of mine. I want to somehow get in the good graces of the anima dev and be like, hey, bud. Hey, pal. I know we speak different languages here. But what if you double down? What if you put more tables that don't go anywhere? What if you gave more tools to create your own abilities? What if you made multi-attack more strong?
More broken.
What if?
Anima is aesthetic as fuck. The game world is really good. The art is mind-blowing. Everything is great about Anima besides the actual game system.
I think you are a hater and you don't fully appreciate the beauty that's been laid like at your feet.
I have played more Anima than anyone here combined.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't. I love it as if I played it for longer. It's like I've known it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've always known, you know. It's like meeting your tabletop soulmate.
It's not. Like, see, this is the bad part. Like, I feel what every D&D 5 EGM feels. In fact, maybe that's why I got out of D&D when I had the chance. Because I made Anima a legitimately fun and good game.
Yeah.
With all the back-breaking work I put into making that game actually work. Which it still doesn't, I mind you, by the way. Even in my most recent games, which were like a year ago or more, we still had a problem with one of the core mechanics that I just had to adjust for later sake. But, I get it, D&D GMs. I know your pain. I've made a game more than what was written in the pages.
And don't you feel more fulfilled because of it?
I do, but man, is it stressful. Don't get me wrong, Anima still has some of the best games I've ever run in it. And I swear some people won't even play my games unless it's Anima anymore. But, like, for real, that game is so stressful to run and keep everything in line. Have I considered making it less stressful? It is impossible. That's true. It is impossible.
Just like, don't worry.
You know how you make Anima less stressful? You rewrite all the fucking rules to make sense.
That's a little much. Let's slow your roll there, buddy. Hey, now.
That's literally the only way.
I mean, you know, it can still work out.
No.
Well, I'm gonna put that as number 1 of my top 5 games that are better than
when I see you run a game of Anima, Alex,
I ain't gonna run a game, period.
Yeah. You get nothing till you at least try to run like a 10-session game.
I will not DM. I refuse to, but I think it'd be easy.
As the biggest shit-filled lie I've ever heard you
I bet it'd be fine. I bet there'd be 0 issues.
Colt, why are you here starting fires? Don't you gotta get back to school or something, kid?
Hey now, we're the same age. I don't want to be catching stray bullets here. Calm down, Cam. That is my absolute favorite insult for anyone younger than you. They try to do some dumb argumentative shit. So shouldn't you be doing your algebra homework right now?
Shouldn't you be back in school? What time is it?
Better, you should get off your phone. The teacher might take your cell phone.
Okay, but if you wanted a system where everything just works, what would you play? So that statement is that's a trap, right? Because are you saying what system does everything perfectly? None of them do.
I guess maybe there's like the least amount of just problems. Where like if Anima, it just gives you like the stress of running it. What is the least stressful game to run? Rules wise.
I have to go just by experience, unfortunately, because there's really not much else to it. I mean, I guess something like Vampire the Masquerade, honestly. It's a little bit more ambiguous with like what dictates certain rules. Like so one of the reasons why people like to say Pathfinder 2nd edition is one of the easiest games to actually run is because once you figure everything out, you don't even need to think really that much about setting difficulty numbers. You know exactly what a difficulty number is for every situation. Because even if you don't like, even if you're like, okay, what's the difficulty of lifting a boulder? You can be like, well, what's the difficulty I want it to be for my players? Then you just look at difficulty by level and add the modifier, and there you go. You want your players to struggle a little bit, you plus 2 it. If you want to make it really hard, plus 5. If you want to make it impossible, plus 10. That's it. Like, Pathfinder 2E literally provides tools for almost anything. Is it perfect, though? No. There are some things that are frustrating and get slipped through the cracks. But for the most part, if you know Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you can run Pathfinder 2nd Edition without thinking about it at all. I've never come to a session stressed out to Pathfinder 2nd Edition after I learned it. I always come to a session of Anima like a little pre-stressed. Because I know the players are going to do something or roll something so absurd, I have to try to justify it. And it's hard.
That do be fair. I also will say Path Builder is probably one of the best tools I've seen for a tabletop thing, and I've seen some very good tabletop tools in my day. Path Builder is a fucking godsend.
Pathfinder is really good.
Absolute like best app. I forgot. It's so I refuse to make characters like on paper. I don't like doing it because I like being able to fiddle with stuff. I need to see it on a screen, like in front of me, laid out, not written out, for me to like understand everything.
So it's like, yeah, well, that's one of the things that people did like about D&D 4E. D&D 4E was very rigorously structured so that a lot of it was balanced. And that's what made a lot of people like it. You know, they also made like certain enemy, they approach certain encounters differently. Like they had mobs where you fight a group of enemies essentially, and it had slightly different rules, you know.
When I did DM 5e, I kind of did just like throw things and numbers at the player hoping it would work. Actually, funnily enough, when you talk about DC stuff, what tactic I pulled is, unless it was a specific thing I planned for, I'd give things I planned for a DC. But sometimes the players would throw some random bullshit at me that I'd make a check for. And because 5e is 5e, you know, DCs feel a little wonky. They give you like a little idea for it, but you know, that's not going to be applicable every time. So sometimes I would just like pretend I had a DC, see what they rolled, and say, that sounds about right, and then let them do it, or let them say no.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, right? Is that's also another thing. That's also why Anima is a lot of people's favorite games, because the GM can make a bad game good.
True.
It's why D&D 5e, despite being a game that is so frustrating to run once your group gets past the beginner phases and becomes more of an immediate like skill group, D&D becomes exponentially more difficult because there's just less rules. Or what rules they do have make absolutely no sense. Like, you can craft items, but only to a maximum of 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, we're not gonna let you get too crazy. What if you like crafted items instead of spending a stupid amount of money? Because, you know, we have good pricing system that we have to balance for, right? We wouldn't just make that up arbitrarily, right?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, by the way, this +1 sword may go for 500 gold or 1,000 gold, maybe.
Pricing things is hard, Cam. No other game has done it. Except for all those games that did. Don't look at those. Pay attention to us, Woods of the Coast.
But players can't attack with their fists twice, but they can use 2 daggers. Yeah! Yeah, isn't that a thing? Yeah, that's really dumb.
Unless you're a monk.
That's
only because you have multi-attack, not because you can use it as an attack as a bonus action. Just like the idea of a fighter looking at his hands, going, "What the fuck do I do with these?"
Or the fact that no characters ever in any D&D space kick.
That's true.
There is no kicking in this world ever.
Every single 5e character watching a boxing match going, oh, what? He's punched twice?
Whoa! The judges are blowing their minds. They're like, look at him go, people! He's using his left hand! Whoa!
Maybe that's what they were talking about in SAO. Because
yeah.
That's such a big leap for some people, I guess.
No! D&D
SAO just
has
5e.
slightly better rules, or slightly the same rules as SAO.
Whoa.
Your APMs aren't high enough, kid. Gotta crank those numbers up before we let you use your other hands.
Whoa. You can pick up another sword? What? Hey, this is getting a little crazy now. What are you, like the chosen one or something? How'd you figure that out?
It's... Gosh, it's... Yeah, and you know what? I will give Anima this. It gave a lot of options for players on playstyle choices. More than most games. Like, the individual martial arts, the Ars Magus you could use, hell, even some of the schools of magic were so unique and interesting. None of it worked, but they sounded cool. It's like in Anima, you can make literally any character you want. Unfortunately, sometimes the game just looks at what you made and shrugs and says, I guess you do it. Because, like, oh god, even in the one game, in Anima game we're in right now, Devin's running, like, one of Jess's spell was like, you make an area slippery. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? It's like, the floor is slippery. And I'm like, alright. And?
Okay, what does slippery mean? I know what it mean in real life, but does it work like this? It's so funny. I love, that's why I like Anima so much, sadly. I think those moments are really fun. Where it's just like, it does this. And?
You like Anima because it's like watching a train wreck.
Yeah.
It's just exciting. There's fire. People are dying. But man, there's a lot happening at once, and I'm kind of into it.
It's just like, it's goofy. It feels like some of the stuff in Anima was designed because the creator had an idea, threw it in there, and didn't think how it would meld with the rest of the system. And I am fucking here for that.
They literally designed straight abilities with no explanation.
I respect that. I respect the drive to put something in your book without proofreading it.
Like, sever existence. You cut through reality like a knife through butter. It's like, okay, what does it do? You can cut anything. You just sever it. It's like, okay.
I have a blade? Like...
What if I hit someone with it?
You cut them in half.
They are instantly maimed or dead.
Like, that... I love that. It's so good.
Like, it's... it's... Again, the game is so interesting. You can make literally any kind of character you could ever think of, but they just don't work. Or at least... There's no mechanic for it. The GM just decides how things work.
Anima characters do hit different, though.
Oh yeah, in Anima's core book. Roll on the impact table. Looks through the book. What impact table? The impact table didn't come out until an errata book later. It's so bad. Or the jump table. There's a jump table, apparently. Also not in the book. Or hey, we're gonna give you a trap making skill. Okay, how do I make traps? I don't know, but here's some vague trap ideas at certain DCs. Okay. Or like, oh, here's a spell. You can give diseases to people. Okay, cool. What do diseases do? There are no examples of diseases anywhere in anima, actually. They never come up again after that spell.
If you get this effect, you get sick. Okay, what happens if I get sick? Hold on. Why are you asking me that?
You contract a disease of level 30. What does that mean?
God, this is the shit why I fucking love anime. You also know that all the media I enjoy like the most is stuff where they'll say something, you go, what the fuck does that mean? And then they're like, they just don't touch on it ever. I love that. I want more things where people have a justification where they go, this reason. Okay, why? And then like run away. I want more of that.
You could run a completely legit JoJo experience in anime.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun.
Oh god. Anyway, so let's talk about our other. We mentioned Lancer, right?
Yeah,
Alex, what's a game that you like that's you think arguably better than D&D and Pathfinder?
I like VTM a lot. That was a stupid amount of fun, and I would really like a VTM campaign at some point.
Why do you like it?
It let me play Disco Elysium.
All right, but what does it do that you just can't get in D&D and Pathfinder? How about that?
I think the power system is like crazy cool. The pure like social combat element of it, like I like the idea of a system that has combat in it, but is capable of doing things on a different scale almost. Because like, or even just not have it. Because like, when we were doing the one shot, I had my buddy who he played VTM like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Where I talked about like how we weren't going to do combat, so he was explaining to me some of the combats he's done, and like the stuff they're able to do, because like it's stuff where it's like you can do these cool ridiculous things like just without needing to roll for it because you're a vampire. Like the shit of having like a shootout in the middle of like a highway, and like there's a bit where my buddy is playing like this assassin, like master with firearms. Like, full on, like, drifts the car, steps out of it as it whizzes away as he's, like, gun out shooting at the van of enemies. Like, stuff like that. Or, like, these absolute goofy moments you can pull. I think the setting for it in, like, the actual core baseline, just understanding of, like, power, means you can do some stuff on a really interesting scale. That I don't think you can get that with a lot of other fantasy stuff. Especially Pathfinder, like, or D&D. I think there's like a base level of badassery that I think is really enticing about it. So at the end of the day, sometimes it is just fun to play a weird, crazy superhuman who is capable of like some dumb feats where it's like, yes, I can run up the wall. I'm a vampire. Yes, I can fight you on the top of a train without really having any problems with that because I'm a vampire.
Yeah, that's true. Those suspensions of belief. Because it's like, well, yeah, it's expected of a character of some archetype.
I also don't know what Only War is.
Yeah, we haven't played that one either.
I haven't heard of that. I will say that little description's enticing. I think a description that reminds me of there's the famous All Guardsman Party Dark Heresy campaign that someone wrote out. That's like a really fun read. Because playing as a regular person in 40k is fucking goofy.
And I mean, this is another thing as well. Is I love how Crassi has just been like tossing RPGs at us this whole time. We will get to the.
It is fun to hear like all of these stuff. I will say, I have not heard of most of these. And the ones that I have heard of only because they've been mentioned. So if you got some like cool obscure one, toss in like a little tagline of like what the vibe is, and sell me on your system.
I think next month, what I think I want to do as a kind of like a community events is I want to do a. I want to get like a good catalog of tabletops people recommend. We'll get like a new channel. Everyone can throw in their games that they like, and we'll go through the lists, and we'll like research them. We might do like a whole stream where we're going in, looking at games, seeing which ones are really cool, and like at the end of the stream, we'll pick like 20 to be games for the next year.
That'd be a fun idea. I think that'd be pretty neat to yeah, it like, you know, or even if it's we can make it a Discord channel or even like a Google form thing where we can make sure that there's an underlying bit of like standard to it, like the idea of name the system, give us a description of like its vibe, like with like a character limit, and then like area to put links to any resources to make researching it a little easier on us, like stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean,
I think would be really
I could
good.
definitely toss that together. Actually, that wouldn't take me very long.
Yeah, well, we'll do that,
make that right
next
now.
month.
Yeah.
Because next month we're already it's another predetermined one. We're doing our Bloodborne Halloween one shot.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
I think that's gonna be really fun. And we'll throw something together, and then we'll put those all on a list, and then we'll have y'all vote every month like we have before on which one we'll try next for the next year. And yeah, next year we'll get through 12 new tabletops. So that'll be fun. I think it's a good idea. I think there's a lot of there's a lot, and if I wasn't the one always running it, and I have to run it because I have to set up the presentation and the stream and everything like that, so you know, it's kind of the thing. I just like I can only learn like one new tabletop a month, pretty much.
Yeah.
With everything else I'm doing, so.
All right, I'll have to check out that that system then, Christopher, because I mean that sounds cool. I've heard nothing but good things about the Dark Heresy system. I've heard it's really well designed. If it's the same thing, which just lets you play a guardsman a little better, hell yeah. Also, that's a cool description. We better play Call of Cthulhu at some point. I know it's been on the list.
Pulp Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, is that a different thing?
I don't know.
Oh shit.
That's just
There's
what's
multiple.
written there.
I like that tagline. Can we do that instead, though?
I said pulp.
Yeah, no. Like at least it is a different. Yeah, no. I want to ride a dinosaur and shoot eldritch horrors. That sounds great.
I think you don't ride the dinosaurs. I think you shoot also dinosaurs.
Well, you know, maybe there's a dinosaur tamer class. Don't ruin this fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying H.P. Lovecraft needed to be a little more imaginative and put dinosaurs.
Pulp fantasy. Okay. Interesting. Definitely like. And I mean, the big part is showing off games so that people kind of can expand their repertoire with a bunch of people that like don't know the system or some that have some experience with the system. It gives a good variance of like, here's what these games are like, and I give my opinion running a game, because most of these I've never run before. And there's definitely stuff in the future I'd love to do more like long-term stuff with some of the games that we really, really liked. Like we might have a series where we come back and we try like a 10-session campaign for like the games that really struck us over like the last year or so.
That'd be so fun.
That would be really good. I mean, whatever it is, right? I think it'd be fun just looking at everything and kind of setting up a list that you, the community, provide for us, so that we can get to the games you like rather than me just going to various tabletop RPG lists and picking the ones I find interesting.
That, and you know, there could always be like that really cool, like pure hidden gem that is like no one's been talking about it, but it's like one of the best systems you've ever played. That's always a possibility.
That's always a possibility. I mean, like when I played Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it was not even popular when it first started.
Yeah, no, I legitimately didn't know there was a 2nd edition at all. when you shot me like a thing saying, "Hey, Pathfinder 2e," and I'm like, "There's a 2e?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" And I tried, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I was like, "Oh, a monk where I can play like a monk finally that I like the design of." Because my biggest problem with 5e monks is that you have to be like a spiritual Buddhist monk, or at least like some sort of spiritual monk. I just want to throw a hand. Like that's all I want. I don't want to have to tie like key and like magic. I just want to punch a guy. And the mountain stance is absolutely one of the most fun things the monk has. That's my favorite.
So another game that I really like, that I think is better than D&D and Pathfinder, at least for what it does, is Deadlands. Original Deadlands is so good. The aesthetic drips through the whole thing. I mean, they got poker cards as a main mechanic and poker chips as a main mechanic. The game is really hard. Your characters might die. It has horror aspects to it, and your character comes back and has undead powers. But it has a legitimately really good power struggle with an inner demon, which you don't see in other tabletops at all. Like fighting the Manitou inside you when you're harrowed is a legitimately interesting experience. And it's something that's like threatens to take your character away from you. So it's very intriguing. And you know, like, it's a game that just does tabletop. It took tabletop in a direction it just hadn't gone before. A lot of it feels good. Some of it is kind of a little wonky. Some of the builds are a little too strong, but like,
and
the aesthetic.
The strong builds. What are the strong builds? Just dumb.
We're good.
Asking for a friend.
There's some really nasty gunslinger builds in that game where it's like you get a bazillion. You get the whole 5 cards for your initiative, and you can pop people really, really fast. So,
can we play this game?
Deadlands? Yeah, at some point. It's Deadlands was one of the first tabletops I ever played, actually.
Oh shit.
I think it was the first one after the D&D adventure box I played with like a cousin of mine way back in the day. But it was the first one. It was the first one. It was run for me too, and it really got me into tabletop. It was a really good game, and I have very fond memories of Deadlands. But yeah, Deadlands just was. Should totally play the Savage Lands versions of Pathfinder. I've heard good things about that one, actually, as well. But yeah, Deadlands was just... It had this aesthetic that was just so hard to pass up. You don't get really good Western-style tabletops, and I think Deadlands did it the best. The rule system you use, like whether you want to use Reloaded or not, that's kind of up to you, but like I felt like the game did just really, really well for what it did. And it's an experience you can't even get in like you could kind of get it in Pathfinder, but not really, because the Harrow thing really, there's a lot of stretches you'd have to make. And excuse me, even then, the point of Deadlands is that everything is really hard and can likely kill you. It's a harsh game. It's a game your characters are whittled down to nothing and eventually will just die. And whether you become a herald or not, you know, that's kind of just
all around good time for the family.
Yeah.
I will mention Dishonored tabletop RPG is one I've wanted to try. I remember there's a lot of hype when it was coming out, and the part that worries me is that once it actually came out, the talk about it immediately just stopped. It's like I've heard nothing about it since it came out and was a thing. So, I mean, I hope it's good. I love Dishonored. It is one of my favorite games ever. So I'd love it for the tabletop system to actually be good.
Being whittled down to dying, and dying is one of my favorite ways to spend my free time. Well, we do play Dead by Daylight. That is fair.
Yeah, that's a great that's a experience.
Alex tries so hard not to give Dead by Daylight compliments.
I don't want to, because it doesn't deserve it, but I've been sinking all of my time into it. I'm not happy about it, Cam. My favorite moment was I forget when, I don't even know if you were in the call when I was doing this. Like, oh yeah, you all were playing Barony for like fucking like hours, and the whole time I was just grinding away at Killer, and then I just had an actual existential crisis like partway through, and like 6 hours in, where I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I've done this before. I've been through so many phases where I play nothing but Dead by Daylight, and then I stop, and then like I just leaned forward after having an existential crisis and clicked Q Killer again. Like, that's, it's dangerous. There's something about that game. The other problem is, like, I'm actually really good at it. So like I have lost maybe like 3 games in my entire like 4-day streak. I'm like actually good. Man, if only there was a tabletop for it, though, right? You know?
Yeah, I also got trapped in League of Legends. It's just a game where it's just like, man, I just got super toxic teammates that last game. It was really not fun. Clicks Q again.
I have really happily not encountered any toxic Dead by Daylight players, or if they were toxic, I immediately shut them down. Where they're like, haha, teabag can't catch me. Oh, they caught me. I do want to play Wesker so bad. I'm 1 game away from fully leveling up Nemesis, and then I'm going on to Leatherface so I can get Franklin's Demise for Wesker, so I can nerf the survivors like one way to mess with his mechanic. Ah, you picked up your first aid spray to get rid of my contamination. What if I made you drop that item? This is all I've been. Please send help.
You got another fun tabletop that is better than D&D or Pathfinder?
What did I haven't played it, but I really do want Blades in the Dark. I think it's going to become really excited. I feel like I'm just going to like it a lot. I mean, the 2 games that that I've played and actually 3 games that I do fully say I enjoy elements of more than Pathfinder is VTM, Lancer, and Anima. So 3 games I absolutely adore.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Blades in the Dark will be interesting for I think Blades in the Dark is kind of like a game you buy on sale off of Steam to play for 10 hours and be like, yeah, that was worth the money. And then you go and do something else.
I will say Lancer scratches the itch between tabletop and wargame, like a tabletop RPG and wargame, where it feels like I can do both. And I love wargames, but I don't always have the time for it. But what if I melded my roleplay with a wargame?
Well, and what I like about Lancer as well is the drop in and out kind of gameplay style.
Yeah,
you play a mission, you're off a mission, you can come back for another mission, and there's really nothing that stops a player who's brand new from hopping into a higher level game, other than the fact that they might not know what anything does. But all you gotta do is just pick a license level, and there you go.
Yeah. And also, I do apologize, Devin. I do have plans after this stream. I cannot play Dead by Daylight.
You're breaking his heart.
I'm sorry. I have plans.
You're breaking it so bad. We didn't even play yesterday.
That is true. We didn't do that yesterday.
I don't know why. That emoji just...
I do really like that emoji.
But, yeah. I do have to edit today, and it's my class build video, which means it's gonna take 3 to 4 hours.
That's fair. Any leaks on what the class build is? Any leaks?
Yeah, it's called Steel Wire Sentinel.
Ooh, where there's wires and steel. This already sounds interesting.
It's kind of a douchey build, not gonna lie. The big mechanic is you stab someone with a reach weapon, you push them away from you, and then you entrap them in difficult terrain. So the only way they can get to you is by using a move action, which triggers attack of opportunity.
wow, I can't believe you're gonna actively make Pathfinder more toxic.
Yep.
Be the negative force on the in the space camp.
There's
Embrace
too much
it.
positivity in Pathfinder nowadays.
That's what I've been saying, bro. Also, like, we did play a lot of Gloomhaven on tabletop sim mainly. God, Gloomhaven is such a weird game that I'm only in the mood for sometimes. I love Gloomhaven, but goddamn, is it really hard to just pick up and play that game sometimes.
Well, the hard part about Gloomhaven, right, is so many of the dungeons are so hard that when you fail a 2-hour dungeon, it kind of just don't feel good.
Yeah, you're just like upset, and you're like, I don't want to fucking do this. My problem too is like with how hard Gloomhaven is. Like, I need to be. It feels like to like play properly, I have to be in the perfect headspace. And a lot of times, hey, I don't want to sit down and absolutely analyze all of my tactics. Sometimes I just want to shoot thing. You know? Sometimes I just want to have fun. But Gloomhaven is a good time. If since it is free on the Epic Game Store, you should really get it. The video game version is probably the only version I will like play now. I much prefer it to the tabletop sim. Or even just the board game, because it does automate a lot of annoying, tedious things.
I agree. Granted, I didn't really have much trouble with the tabletop version, but I do think that it does. Like, we played a lot of the digital too. We unlocked the assassin, and I still haven't played not the assassin, but the dark blade or whatever.
Yeah.
The character I know I'm gonna absolutely love, and I've just not played any of it. I played so much of that game. Sunkeeper is probably some of my favorite, but I played a lot of Sunkeeper.
I liked Warrior because they were simple. So it was like the one bit where I could be like, I don't have to think to play this.
Alex, brain smooth. He likes when the water runs off.
Honestly, I tried to play a solo thing with Gloomhaven. I didn't even get past the first few turns.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking a lot.
It's a lot.
I can't handle that. Like, because it's the problem of sometimes I just, like, especially for games, I like games where I don't fully have to think. That's why, honestly, another game I absolutely fucking love is a Pressure Wash Simulator. Because it's a game that you can play without, like, I don't know, like, putting any thought into it. You can do, like, a lot of other things while playing it. Not a shows, like, of Breaking Bad or a Better Call Saul I've binged while just happily pressure washing something. It's great.
It's totally not even the same game, Colton. But you have to play some Gloomhaven. It's really good.
Yeah, it's very different. It is real fun. I feel like you'd get a kick out of Gloomhaven. Also, Slay the Spire is great. I do love that
Slay
game
the Spire. I played a lot of Slay the Spire, not as much as some. I hate when you say like I play a lot of Slay the Spire, and people are like, "Oh, how many hours?" Because everyone's played like 3,000 hours in that.
Yeah,
game.
that part's a little like I've put a good amount of time into it. Like, I don't know. My most played game is probably still Payday, I think, is what mine was.
It's like I put like 300 hours. I don't put 300 hours into any game. That's a lot for me. And there's always someone who's just like, "Oh yeah, I got 2,000 hours in Slay the Spire." It's like, okay, bro.
I do think the most hours I've ever put in a game is New Vegas total, not just on Steam, but I played it so much on Xbox the disc stopped working. I put a stupid amount of hours in that, and then it got worse once I was able to mod it with a decent computer. And then also, New Vegas is just outright my favorite game of all time. Like that game I hold in a very special place in my heart.
The game I played the most, I know 100% is League of Legends.
That do be a similar answer for other people.
Played the game for years, and Alex, you forgot your 1,000 hours in Hoonie Pop.
I gotta do those matching puzzles. You don't understand. Mm-hmm. I ain't even there for the titties. I'm there for the puzzles.
I'm there for the titties.
I've never played any of those.
I have. It's not that game.
I saw Markiplier play it back in the day, and I'm like, wow, that's wild.
You know, honestly, the thing about that game is, as far as hentai games are concerned, it's kind of mid. But there's just something about it where you just play it and you're just like, oh yeah, I get pictures at the end of these, huh? Next girl.
So, though, I am curious, how does it feel to be a fan of a Candy Crush but for horny weebs?
Pretty good. That is kind
of what it is.
Pretty good, because I am playing with no kids.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? I don't like being on the train and have this 3-year-old kid looking at my shoulder and be like, I love that level. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, playing. That's why I don't have games on my phone on principle, so no children can bother me for it. Do you have any games on your phone? No, leave.
But my comfort games are also, I've been playing a lot of, I think it's called Ratropolis.
Ratropolis? I like the name of that.
It is, yeah, Ratropolis. Where it's kind of like you're trying to prevent, it's like a base defense kind of thing, 2D base defense, where you got enemies coming on one side or the other or both. And I need games that are stimulating mentally, otherwise I just start falling asleep. Like, I need games that is like very constant, and Retropolis is one of those games where it's like, all right, play. I used to play Lost Slay the Spire for that specific reason, because it's just like, all right, new hand, let's go. Because my brain just requires such constant stimulation that I wish I could play other games more, because I do love like a lot of games. Like, I really want to get back into playing Disco Elysium to finish it out. There's a lot of games I've never finished. It's just because my short attention span just no longer clicks with them.
That is fair. Also, God, I've never played Master Duels or whatever. I did play Duel Links when that dropped. Because a lot of people in my high school, we played Duel Links together. We had a whole crew at lunch that would just duel each other. That is the most Yu-Gi-Oh! I've ever played in my life. I haven't looked back since. I don't like deck builder games like that, or collectible deck builder stuff. I like deck builders like Slay the Spire and stuff. I don't like Magic because it's too much. I can't make a deck too hard. I'm really, really bad at it.
We already know I like spraying too smooth.
Yeah, it's too hard.
But yeah,
the most complicated game I'll play is Total War.
It's just a thing where it's very hard. It's very hard to find games where you kind of have to be like paying attention and on the whole time. A lot of games have downtime. That's been Dead by Daylight for me, which has been really nice. Because it is a game where it's like I can like I know the sound cues for things, and like I'm like I can fully if I fully pay attention to it, I can and I'm actually like in the right mind, because I tested this last night. I got a little high and I was like, maybe I'll play Dead by Daylight, and I played it and I fucking sucked at it because I was just not in the right headspace to like perform well, so I fucking lost embarrassingly. I was like, all right, that's good. That's good. I have to actually be like aware. It's not just everyone around me is garbage at Survivor. I just actually have to try and be of the right mind. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And it's a hard thing too, because like I get genuinely jealous of people who can dump ungodly hours into games. Because I'm like, man, I wish I could play a game that much. Like one game for that long? Yeah. Yeah, not the same actually. It's really hard. I'm kind of similar. I just get like super fixated on a game. It's the problem. I think it's just like it's just a thing where ADHD thing where it's like you have a game that just
gives you the nice dopamine, and then it suddenly just stops, and you're like, shit. And then your brain's like, what if, like the one's been happening to me, what if you played a Resident Evil? But I don't want to play Resident Evil, I want to play other game. Like, this game I haven't finished. It's like, yeah, but Resident Evil. You played that like 10 times.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil. I'm going to make you think about Resident Evil until you start playing it. I hate it. It's so annoying. I want to be able to crunch like 1,000 hours into one game. I'd love that. I feel that like a lot, Cam.
Yeah. Well, I got that way with MMOs because I do really like MMOs, but I can never really get into them. Not really. Not like other people can. I've put a couple thousand hours now into Final Fantasy 14, actually. And I still and never was able to really dive into the depths of that game.
Yeah.
Not once. Despite 2,000 hours plus.
I would do that for Warframe. I don't think I've played another MMO that I've cared about. There's something about Warframe that I prefer.
See, that's the thing. I wish I could play Warframe. I really do. It's just there's just something about the lack of like. I have played Ring of Pain actually. It's a very fun game. I felt like I got through all the cards though in the game at this point, so there's nothing really new. But I think what it is Warframe doesn't have challenge, and it doesn't have challenge that I actually like.
That's fair. I guess for me, I do like I need one game in my life that I can just grind. Like that it's like, I need one game where it's like, all right, I have a goal, and this goal I will achieve. And Warframe like hits that, and like I can really just work towards something like piecemeal for like a long period of time. And also like I just really like the movement of Warframe. I think once you really understand how to move properly and fast and like efficiently in Warframe, the fun of it rapidly increases. And like I played a dumb amount on my Switch. I just want to be able to play it on a better system and be able to aim with the guns.
Yeah,
because aiming.
Are they still not done that cross?
Not yet. They promised it early 2022.
Yeah, I remember this being a thing for quite a while.
Yeah, I've been on a cross save watch because the moment it drops, I'm going to notify Vale. Eve? I'm not playing Eve Online. I know of Eve. I'm not going to jump into that. Isn't that the game with the isn't Eve Online the game that's like the you actually have to like manage an in-game economy that's like realistically managed?
Well,
or you can spend hours and hours in real-world money on a ship that you just lose.
Yes.
That sounds... I'd hate that.
Eve is a game that for the people who enjoy it, I'm happy for them. I really am. Because
I really love stories from Eve Online, though. They're real fun.
I've heard some very epic things that have happened in Eve. Eve has real goals. Yeah, it does. It has lifestyle choices, like for your real life.
Yeah, it's story.
Eve is your lifestyle.
Yeah, I absolutely love like the lore of just like it's one of those games like it's like I assume what Twitch does. There's just things that have happened that have just shaped the community. It's so interesting to hear, like just as a neutral third party. But God, I would never
you know what game I've kind of wanted to getting back into? I guarantee you could guess.
It's not Disco Elysium because you mentioned Disco Elysium earlier. I actually don't know. There's a lot of games you've
Cyberpunk 2077.
You should.
I've been seeing a lot of new things. A lot of the bugs have been worked out. I really think I want to play my
your like quick hack build.
Yeah, the quick hack build again.
I will say I've done something similar with it when I've actually like I have a new character that I've been playing like every once in a while when I get the inkling to it. Because I have played it again since the happenings of it. It is legitimately better.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, there's a lot of things on it that have been improved in like just pure quality of life stuff, and I have had zero major bugs. The worst bug I had lasted for maybe a minute or two, where my character got in a car weird, and like that was it. Didn't affect gameplay. I've had nothing like wonky. It does feel like they've legitimately listened, and also quick hack build's really fun. I like dealing damage to doing a big hack. They're gonna deal damage to someone like in 10 seconds, and I'm taking out the team, roll up to them as they die.
Yeah.
It's real
Yeah,
fun.
no, a net runner build, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And ever since the anime has come out, people have been doing those builds, and some of them look really good.
Yeah, I also need to see the anime. It looks. I've heard nothing but good things about it as well.
And you know what? Ark Survival, man, that game. I absolutely love Ark Survival. It is such an intense game. And it has that same thing, too. It's like you spend hours trying to breed a T-Rex or to tame a T-Rex, constantly feeding narco berries or narcotics to keep it, sedated. And then you get into a fight and it dies, and that's just what Ark is. Ark 2 is supposed to be coming out sometime soon.
I don't think I could ever play a game like that. It seems like a lot.
It's really not. It's just a survival game with dinosaur taming in it.
You also know my opinion on survival games.
You liked survival games, though, my bro.
I've liked very few. I liked Valheim.
I can't wait. Valheim's supposed to be getting its new expansion here really, really soon.
I really hope, because that game is suffering from lack of just new stuff.
It is, and it's very tragic.
It is such a fun, relaxing game.
And they released a game that was too fun to be early access.
Yeah, exactly. It's the biggest problem. I think they were very vehemently refusing. They needed like a few more people on their team to like help increase the work.
Yeah.
They needed more. That's what everyone else like. It's really. I'm at least happy it's been a universal thing for people, where a lot of people have been saying like the same opinion. Where it's like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one who's like who thinks this.
Yeah, it's a game that like it was just too good. It was too good when they released it that everyone's like, but we want more. And they're like, okay, we're working on it. We're gonna take the same amount of time we took to build the game, and everyone's like, what?
Huh?
Not like 3-month updates or something. At least give me something new every few months to keep me satiated.
Even if it's like a minor thing.
They gave us different furniture. Yeah, that's true.
That's really it.
It's tragic because they are working really hard to make the game. They made a very interesting game, and it's just taking too long, and there's just not enough. There's just not enough for them to augment, unfortunately. And they also want big expansions for it. They don't want to do like piecemeal, giving it to us one small bit at a time, which is I think the big downfall.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see it, but like I hope when the expansion drops, I'll play it again.
Yeah,
I do
same.
really love that game. It is like it's definitely one of the few, or at least like the only survival game I can really picture right now that I fully can say I enjoy. It's the problem of I just hate realism mechanics in anything. I hate it. It's just so like annoying and tedious. I don't need to deal with the shoelacing I hate it in scripts that I have to read sometimes. I don't want to deal with it in my video games.
Yeah, I am not a big fan of carry weight.
Carry weight sucks.
Inventory max load something, sure, I guess. But
the only inventory management system that was fun is the Resident Evil 4 briefcase organizing. That's fun.
I don't mind hunger and thirst though in games. I actually like it because Especially in like Valheim, because in Valheim, good food actually does really good things for you. They actually made food like an actual mechanic.
See, I like it because it's a choice in Valheim. I hate because the thing I hate about the games that have food system where it's like you are hungry, stop what you're doing right now and go manage this. Stop, you're working on this thing. Hey, you need to manage this arbitrary bar we gave you. It's super annoying.
I don't
It
know.
just
I like it
frustrates
because
me.
I always like having things to do,
I
and
don't.
that's why I like a lot of survival games. Is I like constantly having things to do, building, uh, different chores, all that kind of stuff. Like I actually do enjoy setting things up, like Minecraft. I played a lot of Minecraft back in the day because there's just a lot to do. But what a lot of games don't have, which Valheim does, is in Minecraft, you build your base up, then what? But in Valheim, waves of monsters come to you and try to destroy your base every so often. And there are bosses that you have to go out and fight. And building your base leads to fighting them because you have to get the materials needed to beat them.
Yeah.
And I do agree, Defe, there are some games that take the hunger meter way too seriously.
It's always just my go-to. If it has a hunger meter, it's more likely than not I'm gonna not like it. Because it's a mechanic in general that I think is annoying, and I personally do not see the value of it in anything. Despite like that, it's like it gives me something to do. Like I don't know, I always feel like when I get hit by it, it's always a thing where it's like I am actively doing something I want to do, and now I have to go stop and go deal with this thing because a game meter ran out. Where it's like, hey, oh, it's food time. I like Valheim because it's a choice where sometimes you're doing something like I don't need to eat this food right now. Then other times like oh I gotta prep, I got the good food waiting. It's like I like that. It's my choice, my decision, not the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely where it's a lot more intrusive than others. I agree.
Subnautica is the one I think of mainly. A lot of people love Subnautica. I fucking hate some of those.
Yeah, it's fair. Conan Exiles, I can't get into any Conan game because I absolutely hate dry, arid gamescapes. I hate deserts in general. I don't like their aesthetics. It makes me sad when all the game is just dry.
It depends on if they can make it cool. I like the desert in New Vegas. It's got some. It does feel like you're just in a place that doesn't want you to live there, which is fun sometimes.
I never got far enough to be fair, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I highly dislike it. Every time I'm in a game, when I go into a region that has nice lush, like a nice lush biome, lots of trees, lots of foliage, water, I'm like, oh, this is where I like to be. Every time I go into a desert, I'm like, I just want to get out of this area. I just don't want to be here anymore. That's how I felt in Xenoblade Chronicles, because it's like in 3, the first big area you start exploring is a desert.
That's true.
It's a desert, and it's like, oh, man, this sucks. But like the next couple areas are really nice and green, so it got better. But oh god, I hate deserts. I don't know why, honestly, other than just aesthetically. I just love. I used to live in a desert, I think is what it was. Central Washington, just dry.
Kind of be a desert.
It's brown all year. You get green for a month or two, and then it's brown. And when I came over to the coast and I saw all the nice trees and foliage and, like rain, I'm like, oh god. The place I live in is a lifeless husk.
I don't know. I don't see the desert hate, but you do you. Some of my favorite games take place in deserts.
To each their own. I just hate deserts.
Yeah, you don't like the sand, huh?
I hate the sand.
Coarse and rough. gets everywhere.
Crystal Project Desert, yeah, it doesn't bother me as much. But that game is also like, you can get everywhere you need to in no time at all. Once you get some of the mounts, it's just like, okay, I went through the whole place in like a minute. But yeah, so there's, man. We were talking about tabletops before, but you know, I think that's also a thing a lot of tabletops really... Why? You come in here, Joseph, and that's what you say? The only thing... Called me the worst form of Darth Vader ever.
You are... Hey, Hayden Christensen doesn't deserve that.
No, he's a good actor. I agree.
He's a great actor. George Lucas is just a hack.
Yes, I agree.
Can't believe a man got enough money that he forgot how to make a movie.
But that threw me way off track. Yeah, no. Tabletop games. There's not a lot of tabletop games that give you a really strong aesthetic or feel. You know what I mean? Or at least not the big ones. Like, you play in tabletop... I guess it's just because you've been doing the standard medieval fantasy for so long that it just no longer feels special. You know? It's like when we're getting into Blades in the Dark, it's like you feel the aesthetic. They slap you in the face with the aesthetic of Blades in the Dark, and it's so good.
Oh, wait a shit. Wait. That reminds me. Actually, a game I put on there. Star Wars, like what? Edge of the Empire? Edge of whatever? That's pretty good. The Fantasy Flight Star Wars system slaps, though.
Yeah.
I say this as a man who doesn't like Star Wars. Star Wars tabletop goes hard.
Honestly, the Star Wars Legends universe is so cool, and it sucks that they've completely thrown it all away.
Yeah, I wish they kept the part where Chewbacca got killed because a moon fell on him.
I don't remember that.
That did happen in Legends. That's the canon death of Chewbacca. He got crushed by a big moon. Why didn't Disney do that? The cowards.
Cowards. I will say, Shadowrun, as much as I am not the biggest fan of the system, I feel like it's just a very clunky system. That's my own personal take. I completely understand why some people like it. I think if I was in a good enough group for it, where like a bunch of people knew what was going on, I could probably get into it. But I do gotta say that Shadowrun's lore and world building is super interesting, and they are like a few steps away from, I think, my ideal tabletop system, at least like aesthetic wise, because I do love fantasy, but I also do like super tech, and I also like I don't like the super urban aesthetics to it, but I do like having some urban aesthetics to it. I really like how Shadowrun really blends supernatural with the paranormal, or with the tech.
It is fun, and I do like me a cool mega city every once in a while.
The game I'm designing, actually, I've gotten guns now, I feel like, to a really good spot. The gunplay feels really good and really augmentable, so that players will be able to gear out their guns as well as their skills in using guns to make a very specific experience per gun using.
That's fun.
Which has been my big project for this year, pretty much, has just been making guns feel good and making guns feel like guns. I want people to feel good when they run up on an enemy and just drill them down with an assault gun. Yeah,
and I do feel that, Dead Phoenix. Like, I think that's honestly a big reason. One of the things I agree with of why Shadowrun's real cool. Because, like, I do love urban fantasy, but then, yeah, Secret World stuff's so annoying.
It is very annoying.
Much. And, like, it's done so much, but, like, there's no interesting parts of it. I still posit, I don't know if I've talked about this on stream, I want to make a movie someday where it's a secret magical world where the main character isn't some chosen one. It's just there's this like terrorist going around making people like just see the secret world. Like just imagine you're hanging out, living your normal life, going to your 9 to 5. Some guy runs up to you. He's wearing like a weird cloak, and he just like blows dust in your eyes and runs away, and you can suddenly see like ghosts and shit. Like the ramifications.
Also, real quick, can't stick around, but love that you're keeping up on the videos. Thank you, En, for the $5 donation.
Hell yeah, king shit.
There it is. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to make sure because he said he couldn't stick around. So
no, I didn't see the super chat. You interrupt me for super chat. That's important.
It is important. Gotta make sure that we appropriately thank anyone who supports the channel in whatever way they deem fit. Yeah, I hate Secret World too because it's always just these huge leaps of logic or really dumb like hand waving of like, oh yeah, no normal people can't see it. That's it.
It's like there's fun ways, or normal people can't see it and they don't do anything fun with it. Because you know what? For all its faults, JoJo does that a lot. JoJo actually plays with the idea of what does a regular person see when, like, you know, the characters are doing shit. Like, what happened? What is the perception of like a random person? At least it does that. Other things don't. Where it's like play with the idea of like having characters who aren't in the world.
The only one I like is VTM, and that's
VTM's
because the whole aspect of the masquerade is the keeping of everything secret, and it has lore implications. They try desperately hard to keep it, you know, like keep it in control, and the few times that it was broken were catastrophic.
It does feel like they have there's answers. There's not like dumb justifications in VTM. Like there's a good reason why it's a secret world, and it's well written secret world, where everything has like a reason and a purpose to be the way it is, while others are just like, cool. And now you're the chosen one. You're like, aren't you so special?
Right.
That's what they're all like power fantasy like media usually, where it's like, I was just a regular everyday teen, and then suddenly I can shoot fireball.
I was the everyman, but then I found the secret. So everyone's just like, oh. It's like Harry Potter. Everyone's like, I can't wait to get my owl. I'm in my 20s, but can't wait to get my owl. And it's just like, yeah, it's like people want that ability to see what they can't be seen.
It's the thing to feel special. And it's but then the problem is like, I mean, it's specific with Harry Potter. Then you write a chosen one who actually is just not a good character.
Yeah.
Is kind of a shithead.
I mean, that happens a lot too, to be fair.
It's really annoying. Where they looked like, I look so plain and normal, but then everyone is like worshiping the ground they walk on.
Also, I love the Dresden Files.
I
would like to get more into it for sure.
I need to read the Dresden Files. I've heard a lot of good things. The problem is the audiobooks aren't great quality from what I've heard. Or I just didn't like the voice acting. And I can't sit down and read anymore. I have to listen to someone read to me.
Also, to be fair, in World of Darkness, I don't like Mage. I don't like how Mage is implemented into it. But I not that I think that Mage itself is unfun, I don't like its secret world aspects. Because theirs is like, yeah, normal people can't see magic, and the effects of magic become strangely rationalized by those who cannot see beyond the veil.
I mean, I do like the concept of it where it's working how I'm picturing, the idea of your brain having to, like, a regular person's brain having to justify seeing something that makes no sense.
Yeah, but
it's just an interesting concept to tool with.
I think it's more interesting if it was used in like Eldritch horror kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where you're seeing something and it's being presented to you in a way that only your mind could comprehend what's actually happening. In Mage, it's like, okay, so, you know, it's like you got two mages fighting one throwing fireballs at the other, and when one gets hit by a fireball, it's like a manhole cover suddenly explodes from a gas fire. or like a nearby electric pole has a short and shoots a gout of flame at someone or something, is kind of how it goes. Morkborg, death metal, dark fantasy with humor and amazing artwork. I think I've heard of it before.
Looking it up now. Oh, I like that art. I am into this. Hell yeah. I like that cover art. I love that. So that's a style I really like.
That's a really good style. Yeah, I mean, like, I wish we had more time to look into tabletops, even if it was like 2 tabletops a month rather than 1.
Yeah,
maybe
honestly.
at one point in the future, when our production scale gets bigger, and I can dedicate more time to it.
It's the only time it'd be possible.
Kamagakiri God Hunters also sounds like a really fun one as well. There's, man, that, like, I really, really wish we had more time to look into other tabletops, but, like, that's kind of the hard part about tabletops, right? It's not like picking a game up of Steam. You gotta understand the game, and setting up a game session, you know, like, takes time, and then when you play the game, you kind of have to play for 3 to 4 hours.
True.
You can't just jump into it and kind of just have fun, you know. You gotta have someone who understands it.
Yeah, that is the big problem.
It's just one of those things where we're doing what we can, and we do find fun games, even though we don't stick around to play them. It's tragic, really, but, like, we're doing it as a service to everyone else so that we can have a platform to show it off to people, to involve, like, it's really fun. I always enjoy going onto Twitter and typing we're going to try out a new game and having a whole bunch of people stop by like, oh, I love this game. I'm so excited someone's actually playing it. Like, I love that. I love giving a spotlight to people, like, parts of the community that are very niche that people don't get a lot of recognition in.
Yeah, because some games do deserve, like, more time. And it's also, like, it's the thing of, I'm always a big fan, especially, like, if we do stuff like this, the idea of propping up some, like, local or, like, very indie tabletop stuff. Because, like, you know, it's really hard to get your new thing out there. Especially when it's like, hey, I made a new system. And everyone's like, later, nerd, I'm going to go play 5e. That's what everyone's doing. Where it's like, if I don't know, if our things or our streams and video gets like one new person into a game, that's like the coolest shit. It's like we've helped in some way to make to bring a new interest into the world.
Well, and Kratz, I don't know what you mean by organize. What we got now is as organized as I can be, because I do video production during the week.
Yeah,
and I have to write those scripts out and everything like that.
It's purely a divisional labor problem at this point, when there's not enough capital to fully divide the labor, either for time or just money is the problem. Because I can help out however I can, but however, like, you know, not fully making a lot of money yet.
Well, but see, even if they're similar games, one, what's the point? Because then we're just doing similar games in a row, and we want to create diversity. 2, I go through the effort to create new scenes and thumbnails and everything for games. And 3, I do a video for each of the games where I give my thoughts. We do player interviews and all that kind of stuff. That all takes production time, on top of the videos I'm already doing, mind you.
Yeah,
like,
it's a thing. Eventually, will can get solved, and eventually, when I'll be ecstatic when this isn't a problem, and we could even input one shot into our weeks.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, if I could do
that's
even
the goal.
2 games, that would be great. I'd
Yeah,
love
and
to.
that's not even putting in the time to learn a system. There's a lot of
Yeah.
extra bits there, sadly.
Yeah, well, it's not even 24 hours in a day. I only got 7 days in a week, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta get 3 videos out, and there's also other projects that are being worked on that are not in, like, that you guys can see. Stuff that Alex and I are working on. Is also
Yeah.
getting a company kind of started in a sense where once the channel starts taking off, we're going to be in more of a position to do more and more. The thing is, once the channel's big enough, once I get about like 100K subs or something like that, approximately, and I can have 2 editors doing my videos, then I can dedicate more time, because then all I have to do is prep a video, record, and then I send it away, and the bulk of the work gets done by the editors. Then I can dedicate more time to doing other stuff. But I just I mostly do everything myself. Sometimes Alex every once in a while does a video for me, but it's just all you know, like, we want to do more. And not only that, but the channel has to be a certain amount dedicated to Pathfinder right now, because Pathfinder is where a large amount of our community goes through. And honestly, niche content's the only way to really grow on tabletop for YouTube in general. So, you know, if you're not pumping out content for one game, you're just gaining and losing subs in equal measures, sometimes in greater measures. So
Yeah. It's one of the reasons. Well, also helps that I care about it. The stuff I'm working on my own is stuff where it's gonna be like primarily Warhammer, then occasionally something else, just to like satiate the creative bug I get every once in a while. Where I'm like, this is a funny idea. I have a goofy video in the works that I'm like I'm like gonna start writing. That is I think an entertaining video. I don't know how much value it's gonna have to the world, but I think it'd be fun.
yeah, and congrats on your 600 view video, by the way. That's pretty good.
God damn, it was crazy. It got fucking rolled up and like stolen by the algorithm. It was cool. And like, hey, I got people like actually giving out compliments, like nice ones. It's one of the few times the internet has ever made me feel happy, like actual like, oh, I feel good now. The internet's not really that.
I've gotten a lot of really good stuff from comments as well. I got a lot of bad stuff from comments as well.
No,
but
yeah,
like,
no. I mean,
it's inherent.
that's gonna happen. That will happen eventually. Frank won Dead by Daylight.
But like, you know, it's just like, if it's something you really do enjoy, which I do thoroughly enjoy Pathfinder. I think Pathfinder is such a good system. Making characters is ridiculously fun. My character builds I've been doing recently have been really fun to do, and they've done really well on the channel. Like, it's fun, and the thing is the only game system I've ever been like excited to make character builds for.
Oh yeah.
And I have every reason to do it now, because I can, you know, produce content on it. But, you know, the channel's doing really, really well. And like, once we get to a point where the channel starts really like picking up, like, we'll be able to do a lot more, because people will get their Pathfinder stuff. I don't even have to increase the number of Pathfinder stuff. I can just do what I'm doing already, and then also just have more time to do other stuff. That's kind of what I'm fighting for at this point, is getting to the point where I have time to do other stuff while still being able to, you know, like, make a living in a sense.
That's fair.
Which I will say, not making a living right now. It's still in the baby step stage, but it's better. It's getting better by the day. We're almost at, you know, 1.3K. We'll be at 2K before probably the end of the year, maybe.
Yeah. Though I will mention I have to dip soon. Do you have?
It's not even. Oh, it is 6 o'clock.
It is 6
Did
o'clock.
we get started really late?
No.
Oh,
we had
I
to
know
restart
what
the
it
stream,
is.
my man.
We had to restart the stream. Yeah,
It's like 12 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's my bad. I always keep an eye on the lifetime at the top, and I'm like, okay, we're getting close to done here. I forgot we had to restart at the very beginning.
True. I will say, Colton, I've thought about like imagine just recording the games we just do like that, but goddamn, Let's Plays are not viable anymore. There's so much editing that has to go.
For certain people.
For certain people
or communities.
The idea that it'd have to be is the group, like the group that plays games with like the fun subtitle editing and all that does well, but that's a lot of effort and I don't know how to do that. And also
I think
Let's Plays too easy.
Well, kind of. The big thing about Let's Plays is you need to jump into a niche enough game that also has addictive gameplay content that people want to keep watching, like League stuff, you know what I mean? Because there's people, even new content creators for like League and Valorant, that have popped off just because people are hungry for that content. But you also have to be willing to play the same game for the next 3 years.
Ew.
Crassy, we'll see. I do have some people that I know are gonna want to be in it, and I'm looking for 5 people, so I will make a call out, but I'll definitely put you on the list for sure. But yeah, well, Alex has somewhere to go. I wonder why. I wonder why.
I do have things to do, yeah.
But all right, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. It was a good conversation. A lot of people hopping in. It was a very poppin' chat today. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And we got a super chat. You know, those are rare, but they do help. They actually really do help. So, you know, thank you, Ian. And I guess we're gonna go ahead and say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.